Welcome to episode 51 of OTD, your daily dose of soccer history by 17 Lost Guy. It's December 21, 1983. We're in Seville at the Estadio Benito Villamarin. Spain are about to play Malta in their final qualifier for Euro 1984. The math is absurd. In Group 7, Netherlands top the table and have already finished their run. 8 matches, 13 points, goal difference of plus 16. Spain are on 11 points with 1 match left and a goal difference of plus 5. They don't just need to win, they need to win by 11 goals to overtake the Dutch. They've only scored 12 in the group so far. They've already struggled to beat Malta 3-2 away. This is a good Spain, but not yet the Spain of tiki-taka and 0 trophies. After 45 minutes, it's 3-1. And then the dam breaks in second half and Spain score exactly the 9 additional goals needed to qualify. Today on the OTD pod, we'll set the Group 7 scene and why Spain needed that crazy scoreline. Walk through that crazy 12-1 scoreline itself, especially the second half. Look at the suspicions, inquiries, and what we actually know. And zoom out to other times in football history when just the right score raised eyebrows, from Argentina Peru in 1978 through the Disgrace of Gijón in 1982 to Denmark versus Sweden's biscotto, Barbados Grenada and the Tiger Cup, and what the game has done to protect itself. Before the ball is kicked in Seville, Group 7 looks like this. UEFA's Euro 1984 qualifying Group 7 has 5 teams: Spain, Netherlands, Republic of Ireland, Iceland, and Malta. Only the group winner goes to France. Spain start the campaign with narrow, slightly anxious results, the kind that don't scream, "We're about to win by 11." 1-0 at home and 1-0 away to Iceland. 3-2 away to Malta in February 1983, having to work hard in Valletta. A wild 3-3 draw away to Ireland in Dublin, having led and then been pegged back, and a 1-0 win at home to the Netherlands in Seville in March 1983. That keeps Spain in the race. But in September, things tilt orange. In Rotterdam, the Netherlands beat Spain 2-1. Wim Kieft scores twice. The Dutch now have the head-to-head edge, and Spain's campaign looks fragile. Fast forward to November and December. The Dutch finished their program first. On December 17, they beat Malta 5-0 in Rotterdam. That takes them to 8 games, 6 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat, 22 goals scored and 6 conceded. That's 13 points and a goal difference of plus 16. 4 days later, Spain hosts Malta in Seville for their 8th and last match. They sit 2 points behind. Back then, a win counted for 2 points, so to join the Dutch on 13 points, they simply need a win. To overtake them, they must finish with a better goal difference, or the same goal difference and more goals scored. That translates to win by 11 goals, at least. Everyone knows the math. A respectable win is expected. An 11-goal margin? That's the sort of thing you talk about with a wry smile, then laugh and think, that's never going to happen. But football always finds a way to amaze us. The night in Seville begins in a way that feels normal. The pitch is heavy, the air is cool, Malta are Malta, semi-professional, tired after having played in Rotterdam just 4 days earlier, but not expected to be cannon fodder. Spain line up with Santillana and Ricon up front, Lobo Carrasco on the flank, Maceda, Camacho, Goicoechea at the back, and Victor Munoz in midfield, and Juan Senor starting at right back. The start is edgy. Spain gets a penalty in the 2nd minute, but Senor sends the ball against the post and is cleared for a corner. After 15 minutes, Santillana scores, yet Malta equalize through Silvio De Manuele, making it 1-1 halfway through first half and briefly dropping the atmosphere several floors before Santillana has completed his hat-trick with half an hour played. Spain go in half-time 3-1 up, but the scoreboard in terms of qualification screams futility. They still need 9 more. Again with their thoughts, that's never going to happen. Except it did. Second half becomes something else entirely. Minute by minute, the ball keeps going in. Rincon gets a brace, then Maceda gets one, before Rincon completes his hat-trick. Then both Santillana and Rincon score their 4th of the night, before Sarabia makes it 11-1 with 10 minutes to go. Then comes the magic goal, in the 84th minute, when Juan Senor, who else, after his missed penalty in the beginning of the match, steps forward from right back, hits the low shot into the corner, and makes it 12-1. The stadium loses its mind. Rafael Godillo has a goal disallowed, but it doesn't matter. When the final whistle goes, Spain has overtaken Netherlands and have qualified for the Euro 1984. Across Europe, Headlines the next day read like variations on the same theme: colossal, incredible, suspicious, miraculous. Improbable is not impossible, but in elite football, 12-1 with an 11-goal target attached is the sort of coincidence that keeps people arguing for decades. So what do we actually know? What has only ever been a rumor? The match was broadcast live on Spanish television. In Malta, the reaction is immediate and furious. The Malta FA opens an inquiry into how their national team could concede 12. Chairman George Abela, later president of Malta, talks about structural issues, limited facilities, poor preparation, and the fact that Malta had faced the Netherlands away just 4 days before. Over time, more colorful allegations surface. Some Maltese fans insist the team must have been paid off or told to ease off. Decades later, in 2018, two Maltese players, Silvio De Manuele and Carmel Busotil, say in interviews that Spanish players had foam at the mouth and couldn't stop drinking water, and claim Maltese players may have been drugged via lemon wedges at halftime. These are serious claims, but as of today, no concrete evidence has been produced of bribery, doping, or an organized fix. UEFA has never sanctioned Spain over the game, and the Malta FA's own inquiry did not establish match fixing. Instead, it focused on poor scheduling, lack of conditioning, and the way a tired semi-professional side collapsed under relentless pressure. The more prosaic explanation is brutal but plausible. Malta had a thin squad of part-timers away from home at the end of a campaign, playing a rested, motivated Spain who kept attacking because they had to. Once the scoreline hit a certain threshold, belief went one way and fatigue the other. Spain then went to Euro 1984 and were anything but a joke. They reached the final, losing narrowly to France in Paris. So we are left in that uncomfortable middle ground, an outrageous scoreline, rumors and suspicions, but no hard proof, and officially a result that stands as a miracle of pressure football rather than a scandal. But Spain 12, Malta 1 is not the only time football has had to stare at a scoreboard and ask, really? Let's zoom out to some of those other nights where the numbers told a story and sometimes poisoned it. The most famous example before 1983 is Argentina's 6-0 win over Peru at the 1978 World Cup. Argentina, the host under a military dictatorship, went into their final second group match needing to beat Peru by 4 goals to overtake Brazil and reach the final. They won 6-0. Allegations have followed ever since. Pressure on Peruvian players, political deals involving grain, the selection of a Peruvian-born goalkeeper with Argentine roots, psychological intimidation in their dressing room. Investigations in journalism have built up circumstantial cases, but no conclusive legal proof of match fixing has ever been produced. Then comes the Disgrace of Gijón in 1982. In the first round of the World Cup in Spain, Algeria have already finished their group games. West Germany and Austria know that a 1-0 or 2-0 German win in their match will send both of them through and eliminate Algeria. West Germany score early, and after that, both teams mysteriously stop attacking. Their match fizzles out in passivity. Fans whistle and wave money. Commentators condemn what they're watching. Again, no rules are broken in a narrow sense. You're allowed to play badly, but everyone understands they're seeing a non-aggression pact. That game has a direct reform attached to it. From then on, World Cup groups finish with the last 2 matches played simultaneously to make collusion harder. Fast forward to Euro 2004 qualifying for the finals. In the tournament itself, Group C has Italy, Denmark, and Sweden, and Bulgaria. Heading into the final round, there's a very precise scenario. Any 2-2 draw or higher scoring draw between Denmark and Sweden will send both Nordics through and eliminate Italy, regardless of what Italy do against Bulgaria. Italy win 2-1, and Denmark and Sweden draw 2-2 with a late Swedish equalizer. Italy are out. Italian media call it a biscotto, a baked conspiracy. UEFA investigates and finds no evidence of an agreed result. On the pitch, both teams had attacked, and there were chances for more goals, and nothing like Gijón's mutual passing contest. But the fact that the precise magic scoreline appeared, and late, means the match will always live in that grey zone of suspicion. If you widen the lens to regional tournaments, the examples get even wilder. In 1994 Caribbean Cup qualifying, Barbados faced Grenada in a group where an experimental rule was in place. Golden goals in extra time would count as double for goal difference. Barbados needed to win by 2 clear goals to advance. They went 2-0 up, then conceded to make it 2-1. With time running out, they did the rationally insane thing. They deliberately scored an own goal to make it 2-2, guaranteeing extra time, because they believed they had a better chance of scoring a golden goal worth 2 than of scoring a conventional third. In the extra time, they did score, so officially winning 4-2 and qualifying, Grenada, realizing what was happening, had spent the last minutes of normal time trying to score in either goal, because 3-2 either way would eliminate Barbados. It's not a fix, it's an exploitation of a terrible rule. That rule was never used again. In the 1998 Tiger Cup in Southeast Asia, things crossed a clearer line. In a group game between Thailand and Indonesia, both sides had already qualified for the knockouts. The loser would avoid hosts Vietnam in the next round, a significant advantage. The match sees deliberately passivity, and then later on, Indonesian defender Effendi intentionally scores an own goal to give Thailand a 3-2 win and the easier path. FIFA responds by banning Effendi for life and handing out fines and suspensions. Here there's no doubt. The goal is deliberately thrown on purpose for competitive advantage and punished as such. These cases span a spectrum, from Argentina versus Peru and Spain versus Malta, where the suspicion rests on improbability and political context, through Gijón and Denmark versus Sweden, where teams clearly adapt their play to the table, to Barbados versus Grenada's rule gaming and the Tiger Cup's outright intentional own goal. Each one leaves a mark on how tournaments are designed and policed. So what has football actually done to reduce the chances of another 12-1 Malta moment, bringing the game into disrepute? A few changes stand out. First, simultaneous kickoffs. After the Disgrace of Gijón, FIFA and UEFA moved to schedule the final round of group matches at the same time, both in major tournaments and in many qualifying groups. That doesn't stop all incentives to collude, but it removes the clarity you saw in Spain versus Malta, where everyone knew exactly what was required. Today, it's much harder to play to a specific goal margin when you don't know the other score in real time. Second, tiebreaker rules. Organizers have experimented with different hierarchies. Head-to-head records first, then goal difference, then goals scored, to avoid situations where a team knows in advance that, say, win by 8 or draw 2-2 will definitely be enough. There's still no perfect system, but the aim is to reduce sharp, obviously exploitable edges. Third, integrity in monitoring. Compared to the early 1980s, federations and confederations now work with betting integrity firms, data analysts, and disciplinary bodies to track suspicious patterns, especially when gambling markets spike. The Tiger Cup own goal was punished harshly. Domestic leagues across the world have handed out long bans for proven match manipulation. And fourth, scheduling and fairness for smaller nations. The Malta FA, after 12-1, specifically complained about having to play away in the Netherlands and then away in Spain within 4 days. UEFA has since paid more attention to travel, rest periods, and competitive balance in fixture lists, even if it's still far from perfect. None of this makes another 12-1 mathematically impossible. Freak games happen. Sometimes a tired underdog collapses, a motivated favorite smells blood, and the scoreline goes into strange territory. But each time the game has brushed up against that line between improbable and unacceptable, it has nudged the rules, the calendars, and the oversight in response. So what do we do with Spain 12, Malta 1, looking back from today? We hold two thoughts at once. On one hand, it's one of the most outrageous scorelines in serious international football. The fact Spain needed an 11-goal win and got a 12-1 will always make it a case study, a stick for conspiracy theorists, and a question mark for anyone who cares about sporting integrity. On the other, the investigations that were actually carried out never found proof of fixing. Spain's players still had to score those goals. Malta's players still had to pick the ball out of the net 12 times. And the results sent Spain to a Euro where they showed they belonged on the stage. On this day in 1983, at the Benito Villamarín, the margin was just enough. And ever since, whenever a team walks onto the pitch needing a bizarre scoreline to qualify, the ghost of Seville and all those other matches is there, reminding us how delicate the balance is between competition, incentive, and trust. That's all for episode 51 of OTD, the night Spain beat Malta 12-1, sneaked into Euro 84 on goals scored, and gave football one of its most eternal really moments. If you have other examples of strange qualifying math, matches you've always wondered about, or reading tips on the subject, I'd love to hear them. Email me at otd@17lawsguy.com. And if you enjoy these journeys, subscribe and leave a 5-star review so the algorithm can send more football ethics obsessives our way. Tomorrow, in episode 52, we head back to 1912 and Hugo Meisel's debut as Austria manager. In Italy 1, Austria 3 in January, the first step on the long road to the Wonder Team. See you then.